Chapter 9, Scorpion. Shang Tsung continues to persuade Bihan.
Bihan, don't listen!
Hotaru thinks Shang Tsung is planning to use the Soul Stealers to destroy the world. I guess he thinks they're going to soul suck everyone on the planet or something. But the true purpose of the Soul Stealers is to revive the Dragon Army. Dragon Army.
Sorry, just got excited there about the
Dragon Army.
Keep talking.
Using a crown, Shang Tsung can control the army. And he promises to give several battalions to the Lin Kuei, and Bihan, like the slut he is, caves to Shang Tsung's demands.
Bihan! How could you?
Slut. Father had doomed the Lin Kuei to mediocrity.
Father made the Lin Kuei mid.
Bihan then reveals to Kuei Liang that he let his father die, and then something unusual awakens in Kuei Liang.
Damn, Chain Scorpion just beat up 3 people! He just beat up Shao, Bihan, and Shang Tsung. Chain Scorpion OP, dude.
What is happening?
Do not fret, my child.
What the? Who are you?
In every continuity, in every universe, there will be a chosen one. A being who is bound by mortal limitations, yet this somehow awakens the hidden power that even titans fear.
What are you talking about?
You have been chosen to take up my mantle. Now rise and show the world your true worth.
Scorpion-san metal chain. Scorpion-san metal chain. He started feeling Bihan's pain. Then he slapped him with the chain. Scorpion-san metal chain. Scorpion-san metal chain. Shao was there all huff and puff, so he strangled him with cuffs. Scorpion-san metal chain. Scorpion-san metal chain. Shang-san did his evil cackle, so he smacked him with the shackle. Scorpion-san metal chain. Scorpion-san metal chain. He was betrayed by Lin Kuei, then went and beat up all 3.
You better quickly run and feed. You better quickly run and feed. He's gonna shout, get over here. Efforts to fight back are in vain. Because Scorpion's bound by metal chain.
General Shao realizes how powerful Scorpion in chains is, and decides to set him free in order to nerf him. And now Scorpion fights General Shao and Shang Tsung without his chains.
How could you?
The Tomb of the Dragon Army is a stage filled with rolls and rolls of stone soldiers. The stage and concept itself is a reference to the lost Tomb of the Dragon King from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. There is also a big circular amulet thing in the back of the stage. Shang Tsung was wearing his new stylish crown in the cutscene, but during gameplay, he doesn't have it.
How could you?
RIP Shang Tsung's victory crown. Scorpion also gained a new Kamiya fighter, Fire Elemental. I feel like, narratively speaking, it would make more sense for Smoke to be here, save Scorpion, and have him be the Kamiya fighter. But nah, Yuri Lowenthal is way too expensive. Fire Elemental is now my new best friend. Scorpion wins.
And there we go, the 3rd Earthrealms champion.
Shang Tsung
with a crown
commands the Dragon Army to chase Scorpion. Scorpion runs to the treasure chamber, as we see Quan Chi and Rain chatting. And yes, Rain is a bad guy again.
How could you?
Now, I want you all to think about this. What are Quan Chi and Rain chatting about? Maybe they're discussing about Shang Tsung's evil plans. Or maybe they're talking about their own ambitious goals. It's neither. They're talking about gold.
Pollutants impact efficiency. Like barnacles on a ship's hull, they create drag and reduce speed.
I see.
Quan Chi stares unblinkingly.
It's such a pointless conversation.
This is so unnecessary.
But I kinda love it. Rain spots Scorpion and ambushes him. A mage ambushes a stealthy ninja.
How could you?
You are absolutely garbage at stealth. You are worse than Sizoff, worse than the American actor. You have now been caught 3 separate times during the mission. Please remove the ninja tag off your name.
It takes years to master our ways.
If you lose to Rain or General Shell, then it will be the first time you see the name Harumi appear. Scorpion wins. Havik and Arius show up to fight. They drag Scorpion to the furnace. Huai Liang, my dude, you can literally conjure fire from your hands. Stop being such a crybaby. Be more like Hanzo. You get another test you might hear. And if you lose, Havik and Arius will dump you into the furnace and be way too happy about it. Scorpion retaliates and burns off Havik's face.
There we go, classic Havik, baby. Not really. He's still pretty.
For burning me, you'll burn in the nether realm.
Adorable, but you look cooler now.
Two things I want to bring up. 1. Scorpion shoves his entire face into the liquid, so it shouldn't just be his jaw that's burnt. 2. Havik has the ability to regenerate any part of his body, yet he doesn't regenerate his face.
If you want me to, I could fix that face.
It's most likely he kept the scar to remind himself of what Scorpion has done.
It's a reminder that I messed up and to never let it happen again.
Such a drama queen. Scorpion wins and continues to run away. Now that we just finished the Havik fight, and this is also the last time we ever see him in the story mode, I thought it's a good time for me to do this. Let's break it down. Havik. Remember in my chapter 6 video where I said that there's another character that's as bad as Nitara? Yeah, it's Havik. This guy fucking sucks. But in order for you all to understand why Havik sucks, I think it's important for you all to understand why people love Havik. So let's take a journey back to Mortal Kombat Deception. In the Conquest mode, Shujinko goes on a journey to retrieve the 6 Kamidogus from each realm. And one of these realms is Chaos Realm. Chaos Realm is one of the most interesting places in the Mortal Kombat universe. The inhabitants here treat chaos as a religion, and hold freedom and change to the highest esteem. Nature itself is also filled with many disorders. The lands defy the laws of physics. There are floating rocks everywhere. People here speak backwards.
Damashi is the Dragon King.
And the water here will age anyone that goes through it rapidly. Shujinko meets Havik here. Havik requests Shujinko to help him with a task.
Seidan guardsmen seek to restrict the flow of our water, something we hold as sacred. Defeat each of the 4 Seidan invaders. Do this for me, and I will teach you the ways of chaos as well.
And Shujinko agrees. After completing the missions, Shujinko reports back to Havik.
I thank you for your assistance.
You said you would show me the way of chaos if I were to free their minds.
As if I would honor a deal? You should know better than to bind a man of chaos to his word. I will free myself of this oppression. Fight!
And so they fight. But by the end of their battle, Havik reveals his true intentions.
Well done.
Well done? You tried to kill me!
Nonsense. How could I teach you the way of chaos if there was an agreement, a structure to the lesson?
Oh, I think I understand. I was learning from the unpredictable nature of experience, not from a structured tutorial. I did not realize you had no intentions of harming me when you attacked, and therefore I learned to adapt to what I perceived to be a real threat.
You are correct, except I would have killed you if you had given me the chance. I was quite serious.
Such a fun character, and such a fun place. The potential this has is limitless, and many fans have yearned for a modern depiction of Havik and Chaos Realm, and after 20 years, we still didn't get it. Chaos Realm doesn't exist in this universe, so you already lost a huge potential there. And as for Havik, this isn't Havik. This is have more standards. In Deception, Havik sends Shujinko to stop the Seidan guardsmen.
Who are these Seidan guardsmen?
They are soldiers of an oppressive realm that have come to impose their order. They seek to control and alter our water supply for their own ends. Their presence here is offensive.
NRS saw how Havik doesn't like oppression, and decides to make that his entire personality. Havik is now from Order Realm, and due to off-screen oppression from Saido, Havik wishes to liberate the people of Saido, with chaos and anarchy.
My Saido is now blessed by chaos!
Whatever that means. And he also wants to kill everyone in Saido.
Your reputation for chaos precedes you.
Orchestrating a city's death will do that.
Your uprising is killing innocent Saidans.
Innocent?
They are all oppressors!
Having a fascism bad story is one of the easiest ways to sympathize with a character. And yet, they don't show Sido's angle at all, so we can't tell how bad the oppression is. And so they just turned Havik into one of the worst Twitter users ever. Does NRS really think that we want to see our beloved 3D era character Havik spout about oppression 24/7 and then shout chaos like it's some sort of buzzword to give us goosebumps?
Stop! I get the idea.
Another detail I don't like is that why is he hot? The stylish hair, the pecs, the jawline. Even after his face gets burned, he still looks like a fuckboy. Like, no offense. I'd prefer if you were ugly. I prefer Kataravalla's design. I prefer the animatronic design in Johnny's mansion. I just want my silly skeleton face man. This is a really weird situation where I prefer less fan service. Something else I don't like about him is how his powers work. In the OG timeline, Havik's unnatural powers come from Chaos Realm to reflect the chaotic nature of that place. But since Chaos Realm doesn't exist in M1K, he just gets his powers from Quan Chi.
You can rip off and reattach your limbs?
Courtesy of Quan Chi's darkest magic.
Boring. And the worst thing about Havik is he's actually replaced by another character. I know I was joking about this not being Havik.
More standards.
But
return to Sido. Dairu, where did you learn my real name?
Retaliate with fire and
fury. Who the fuck is this?
I just want my beloved 3D era character Havik. What the fuck is up with all these shit changes? If I was on the writing team and you gave me the assignment known as Havik, I would be ecstatic. It would be such a fun character to write. Have it so Havik starts off with the villains, but then sometimes he randomly assists the heroes, which would make them very confused. When the villains are winning, he cries, and when the heroes win at the end of the day, he gleefully shouts we lost.
The interesting thing about Havik's personality is that he doesn't form alliances with anyone unless it somehow will bring disorder to the universe. So he's not good or bad. Havik is about promoting his own agenda, which is chaos.
The potential to write this character is limitless, and yet somehow, NRS managed to go into the worst direction ever. Like, I'm impressed. Even if I tried writing Havik badly, it probably still wouldn't be as bad as this.
You would give Viternus Sidans to breed?
It's a fitting punishment for my oppressors. You freak.
Breed slaves.
After thinking about it for a bit, I still think Nitara is the worst character in Mortal Kombat 1. Megan Fox helped edge it out a bit, but as someone who was looking forward to Havik's return, I find this abomination known as Dairu genuinely repulsive.
Hey there, Editing Sonic here. I realized after I went through my entire Havik rant, I never brought up Hotaru. In the old timeline, Hotaru was a general in the realm of Sido, and he devotes himself to preserving law and order at any cost. If Havik is the ultimate representation of chaos, then Hotaru is the ultimate representation of order. And so because of that, these two characters are the ultimate rivals. And some fans were disappointed that Havik returned, but not Hotaru. Now, on one hand, I would like to see Hotaru return and, see what they could do with this character. But I actually have 3 points as to why I don't think Hotaru needed to come back. Number one, yes, like I just said, some people want to see Hotaru and Havik both return. But let's be fair. People want Havik. People have been screaming and begging and shouting for Havik for years. But Hotaru, on the other hand, was just whispers. I would say I see Nitara and Ashra brought up more often, like both of these characters together, like, oh, Nitara, Ashra. Havik, Hotaru. That's kind of how I see it in the community. My point is, Havik was a priority and Hotaru was a nice supplement if he does come back. But speaking of Nitara and Ashra, that leads to my number 2 reasoning. Nitara and Ashra did come back in this game, and people are happy that these two are selected. However, considering how these two barely had any rivalry whatsoever in the game. I mean, Ashra was mostly just concerned with Quan Chi the whole time, and Nitara was concerned about breeding. These two being in the same game didn't matter, even though their rivalry in Armageddon was what fans wanted to see, and there was barely any of that. So unless NetherRealm Studios actually dedicates time to doing this, what's to say that Havik and Hotaru being in the same game would have led to good storytelling. Because right here we have a prime example of Ashura and Natara, a 3D era story that people want to see depicted in modern light, completely wasted. So what's to say that Havik and Hotaru wouldn't do that too? Though, considering how much Havik keeps bringing up Saido, there might have been a bigger chance of Hotaru's involvement in this. Although that now leads me to reasoning number 3. Considering how much of a fascist utopia Saido seems to be, thanks to Havik's depiction, something tells me a modern depiction of Hotaru is going to be the most annoying character that has ever existed. So overall, while I do think it'd be cool to see like a new version of Hotaru, like what his moveset would be like, how his new design would be like, I can't help but feel like from a storytelling perspective, we might have dodged a bullet. For now.
Scorpion meets up with Smoke. Scorpion explains the situation to Smoke and reassures Thomas being his brother with a reference.
We share blood. We are not brothers.
We share blood. We are not brothers.
Do we share blood? Yes, but we are not brothers.
We may not share blood, but we are brothers.
Then their brother-phobic brother sees this. Scorpion fights Sub-Zero, as Smoke just watches from the side and does nothing.
Stay back! This is my fight.
Stay back, Twink. It's not like Bihan is your brother too, and you have a lot of emotional stakes here too. Nah. We gotta have our pure fire and ice fight. The fight begins, and Sub-Zero now has the ice elemental. Another character to replace Smoke, I guess. Why is Smoke even in this game? Scorpion wins, and he takes off the Lin Kuei badge, while Smoke doesn't. Smoke says that Scorpion would be the next Grandmaster after Sub-Zero.
You forget Cyrax and Sector. Their loyalty to Bihan is absolute.
This line is so going to bite him in the ass in the future. Kuei Liang and Thomas plan to leave the Lin Kuei and form a new clan.
One that both honors our father's legacy and serves Earthrealm.
Kuei Liang decides to spare Bihan, despite everything that's happened. He is still his brother. The brothers escape.
Lock him up.
As the Soul Stealers get activated. In Chapter 6, it was established that the living forest was a graveyard, which is why there were enough souls to create a Soul Nado. So how the fuck are there 5 Soul Nados being conjured in the middle of nowhere? In the description of the Ying Fortress, it states that its walls remain haunted by the souls who died defending it. So that's where the souls are coming from. However, keep in mind, the living forest houses the souls of all the people of Outworld. Unless if you're a minority, so all the dead people in Outworld was only enough to create 1 Soul Nado, and yet the fortress had enough to create 5?
I mean, like, damn.
It's unclear what happens to Bihan or the Lin Kuei in the rest of the story, but my headcanon is this comic drawn by Miller Wonder.
Help me. We can't leave him here to aid Shang Tsung.
Imbecile! You have no idea what you...
Slut. There is something seriously wrong with you.
I have had enough of you. What is this?
And that's basically Chapter 9. Welcome to the Double ID, interesting intro dialogues, where we look at character intro dialogues to gain more information about the current chapter we're on. Smoke was most likely supposed to be more involved in Chapter 8 and 9. There are intro dialogues implying that Smoke fought Shang Tsung and Quan Chi.
The battle against the sorcerers was your first real fight.
I understand you helped battle the sorcerers.
I'm fortunate to have survived.
There's also an intro between Smoke and Rain, where they talk about their last fight.
After last time, you still choose to fight.
I've learned much since our last battle.
Now comes the part where my head gets a doozy. We've got 2 special boys we got to get through. Let's break it down. Scorpion. In the new universe, Scorpion is not Hanzo Hasashi.
No! That is not!
Hanzo, this is probably the biggest risk NRS took with this new universe. Not only did they replace the poster child, with over 30 years of legacy to back him up, they replaced him with the other poster child, Kui Liang. I will say, with how little NRS usually dares to change the lore, I do admire how bold they've been with this universe. While some of the changes have turned out to be quite beloved, I will say the Scorpion change might be a little too ambitious. I have seen mostly complaints about this new version of Scorpion, especially when compared to the previous predecessor. Hanzo Scorpion's entire clan and family got annihilated, and he resurrects from hell to seek revenge, while M1K Scorpion gets betrayed by his brother, and now he's off to form his own clan. Boring. People in general don't like replacing one character with another. Just look at Havik and Daru. However, this is the face of the Mortal Kombat franchise, and that's a way bigger responsibility to handle. Now, I've only been talking about the character setup, but how was the execution? It's fine. He's Mr. Goody Goody Two-Shoe Man, who does goody goody two-shoe stuff, and when he gets tragically betrayed, he's still Goody Goody Two-Shoe Man. Yay, there's already a better version of this character, and his name is Baraka. My final critique for Scorpion is 7 words. He is not better than Hanzo Hasashi. Miles Morales from Spider-Verse proved to me that you can do a fantastic Spider-Man story without Spider-Man being Peter Parker. And Kui Liang has not proved to me that he's a good Scorpion yet. And until he comes close to reaching the status of Hanzo Scorpion, I just don't think I'll really like this version of Scorpion. Now let's talk about his brother. Let's break it down. Sub-Zero. It's funny, you know. Sub-Zero has the exact opposite issues from Scorpion. While Kui Liang as Scorpion was controversial, Bi-Han returning as Sub-Zero was met with universal praise. Bi-Han was the original Sub-Zero all the way back from the very first Mortal Kombat game. Fans have begged for more characterization for Bi-Han, because his role in the entire series has been to die in the first tournament, and have Kui Liang take his place as Sub-Zero for 90% of the series. And in M1K, we finally get to see Bi-Han as more than just a sacrificial lamb. The setup is fantastic, and the execution is horrendous. He is an egotistical man-child who turns into a villain the moment he gets the chance, and fails at pretty much everything he sets out to do. What a shit show. I can excuse characters like Nitara being poorly written, but Sub-Zero, the second poster child of the Mortal Kombat franchise, just being a one-dimensional bad guy, fucking sucks. M1K Sub-Zero reminds me of a certain character who has similar motives, but the execution is pulled off way better. And that character is Kuvira from The Legend of Korra. In Season 4, after the death of the Earth Queen, the Earth Kingdom was in disarray, and so the government sent the military leader Kuvira to help quell the uprising from the bandits. There's just one small issue. Kuvira despises the newly crowned Earth King, so she comes up with a plan. During the Earth King's coronation, Kuvira denounces the authority of the Earth King, and announces to be the new leader of the Earth Empire. And the best part, she's already won. She spent 3 years uniting all the provinces under her banner, so by the time she makes the speech, she already has 90% of the Earth Kingdom under her domain. She's got the motive, she's got the plan.
And she is the moment. Now come on now.
Pretty impressive start for a villain. Now let's look at Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero has shown distaste towards Liu Kang, and wishes to do more.
We settle for defending Earthrealm when we could help lead it.
That's great and all, but I would like to ask the why. Why does Bi-Han want to rule a part of Earthrealm? Kuvira saw how terrible of a tyrant the previous leader was, and sees how pathetic the king will be, and so she decides that she can do a better job, and steps up for the people.
I'm telling you, for the good of everyone, you have to step down.
I stepped up. I provide stability and equality.
But what does Bi-Han want? It just seems like he wants power, but with no end goal. A very shallow character. Then there's the part where he turns evil. Shang Tsung offers Bi-Han a couple of soldiers, and then he folds.
You got to put 100 mil.
I'm sucking it.
Shaquille. Damn, let me get my shit off first. Damn! What?
I'm sucking it.
Kuvira spent 3 years meticulously progressing her grand plan, and yet you insta-turn bad the moment Shan gives you some stone soldiers. It's like you were itching to turn evil, and you leap the moment someone gave the offer. Did you ever think about your own actions? You have to handle Fire God Liu Kang, his champions, the Shaolin monks, and other Earthrealm forces he's never mentioned. Plus maybe even Outworld will side with Liu Kang. And you gambled everything for a couple of pebbles. Please learn more from your superior fascist Queen Kuvira, Braindead Han. Oh. And if any of you are wondering how I feel about the Legend of Korra series,
I like
Order.
Hell, I love it!
I think the thing that sucks about Bihan the most is how much wasted potential he has. There is a lot of setup for him that I feel like with some adjustments, we could get a much more interesting character. So I decided to take it upon myself to fix him. Hello and welcome to Wasted Potential, the show where we discuss the wasted potential of our favorite plot lines. You don't need to change much about Sub-Zero in Chapter 8, but for the love of the Elder Gods, don't let Bihan lose to some grunts. Have it so Scorpion is held at knife point, and Sub-Zero yields, even if he's stern and grumpy all the time. Deep down he does care about his brother.
You're both unharmed.
Chapter 9 will start off the same, but the change will happen when Sub-Zero catches up to Scorpion and Smoke. There are two ways this can go down. The first path is the good guy path. Sub-Zero explains that his betrayal to Scorpion was all just an act to save them out of that situation, which all seems fine. But Kui Liang then asks if what Bihan says about his father is true.
I was right to let him die.
Bihan hesitates and says no. While Sub-Zero is still a good guy here, there's an uncertainty with Bihan, and more to him than he lets on. The second path is the bad guy path. The story plays out the same, except here, Smoke also gets to fight for crying out loud, and Scorpion and Smoke lose against Sub-Zero, and this forces the brothers to escape. I personally think if you wanna make Sub-Zero a bad guy, he needs to be a threat. His words and actions need to have weight to them. This falls apart if he can be easily defeated. There's an interesting intro dialogue that I feel like gives a lot of potential to Sub-Zero.
You will not enter the Temple of the Elements.
I will have the power you've locked away inside.
Let's say Sub-Zero somehow gets this power by the end of the game. Then he uses these powers to create his own Ice Kingdom utopia, turning a part of Earthrealm into his own domain, and becomes the King of Ice. The Lin Kuei will now be a third-party faction in the Mortal Kombat universe, not working for the bad guys, and not working for Liu Kang. This motive was even hinted in his bio. The Lin Kuei will come out of the shadows, and fight for its place as one of Earthrealm's great nations. And again, this edgy premise can only work if he's a threat to our heroes.
Hi there, Editing Sonic, back here again. I realized after listening to my evil Sub-Zero plot that I've brought up here, I felt like I had to clarify some things up a little bit because currently, this does just sound like his arcade ending. In his arcade ending, he brings up how, now that I'm not bootlicking Liu Kang, I can now expand my nation and do big things and yada yada and that kind of stuff. However, in that ending, the Lin Kuei is still a small ninja clan. Like, they're still in their little hideout. They have to still be sneaky about what they do. In my suggestion, Sub-Zero has a country. He actually has a nation in Earthrealm. And that is what I'm trying to emphasize. Considering in his bio, he always talks about how he wants to rule part of Earthrealm. Well, in my depiction, I want to see him give that a go. Maybe he has things that he's dissatisfied with Liu Kang, and well, now that he has his own kingdom, he gets to change that. He gets to try it out on, like, his people. And I don't want Sub-Zero to just be like a generic villain, like, oh, I have my evil kingdom, I'm gonna go start attacking Liu Kang. No, I want him to have his own agendas. I want him to do his own goals of what he believes is going to help Earthrealm in his own way. And also, Liu Kang can't just be like, oh, Sub-Zero evil, I'm gonna go attack you. No, that would be attacking another country. That would actually be very politically complicated, so he can't just be doing all that kind of stuff. So while Sub-Zero isn't technically a villain here, he's also still quite the big threat that Liu Kang can't just ignore, so it actually gets quite complicated in this situation. I just feel like with the little bit we got from Bihan, that at least this is an angle that you can take with this character that could lead to some interesting conflict and things that doesn't just automatically turn Bihan to generic villain route. I feel like having Bihan have a responsibility for taking care of his own people and what he wants out of a nation could be an interesting angle. But no, instead, by the end of the game, the Lin Kuei and Bihan are just like, Little cockroaches, just annoying, and when Liu Kang sees them, he's just like, sweeps it away, like, get out of here, I'm gonna smack you, little annoying cockroach. Like an annoying cockroach that shows up in a wedding or something.
I feel like both of these angles could work for Bi-Han, but unfortunately, we just get the most generic MCU villain possible.
How could you?
Overall, as a Mortal Kombat fan, I've waited 30 years for them to flesh out Bi-Han's character. And now, I just want Kuei Liang back as Sub-Zero. I find both Chapter 9 and 8 to be very meh. And I feel like the biggest offender to all of this is just how obvious it was that Bi-Han was gonna turn evil.
I'm sucking it.
I knew NRS couldn't hold back the urge to turn Bi-Han into a generic villain. It's totally what all the die-hard fans wanted to see. I'll try to end this on a positive note. Hanzo Hasashi wasn't built in a day. It took years of development for people to love Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and this is only the first time we've seen these two new versions of them. So maybe if they get more development, more screen time, they can turn out to be great characters. God has two ways of punishing men. Not giving them what they asked for, and giving them exactly what they asked for.
Hypocrites!
Don't cry, little MK fan. Uncle NRS has enough guest fighters to feed you your entire life. Ed! Sir. Bring over the 70s horror icon! The boy's hungry!